Good evening. My name is Chukwemeka. So this my friend who is a very strong Christian was preaching to me, trying to get me to get back into the fold. And it was actually at home we were having a conversation, and he was just preaching to me, telling me that Christ died for our sins, that we are nothing but grace and faith. All those kind of normal lines that we get all the time. And I do get this all the time for a lot of people, even on this channel. People come here and they start preaching Christianity to me. I don't know. I've told a number of look. I understand Christianity. I've been a Christian for a long time, and when I was a Christian, I took my time to find out what I was in. There is a reason I left it. But anyway, he was preaching to me. I just told him to stop because before the conversation progressed any further, I asked him, look, are you going to preach to me or are we having a conversation? Because if you're preaching to me, I don't want to hear it. Don't worry about it. But if we're having a conversation like friends, then we can talk about whatever you want us to talk about. He said, no, we are buddies, we've been buddies forever since childhood, so we can talk about it. We're just having a normal conversation, which is fine. And the reason I say this, and maybe some of you will be able to relate to this, most Christians, they will want you to listen to them, but they will not want to listen to you. And the reason they don't want to listen to you is because they don't want you to wake them up from their slumber. They don't want to hear something that they don't want you to tell them something that will make them begin to doubt their faith. Their faith is a closed door. It's a door in which they have been brainwashed not to listen to anybody that will create doubt, even if the person is telling them the truth. So it's not about truth, it's about faith. It's not about truth. Truth is irrelevant in that religion. What is relevant is what you have been taught. This is brainwashing children of the Most High. And I don't want a situation whereby he is the one talking and I'm not talking. Because if he wants me to listen to him, then he has to listen to me as well. Because this is the same thing you see in Christian churches. If you go to a church today, even if the service is for like 5 hours, it's only the pastor that will talk. Nobody else will be. Is it that it's only the pastor that have something to say? No one else there has anything better to say? But it's only the pastor that will talk for the rest of 5 hours. It's only the priest or the bishop that will be saying things. So that's how indoctrination happens in Christianity. You are supposed to sit down and listen to authority, and they try to pass that across. So if you are aware of this when you're having conversation with people who don't even know what they're doing, it's good for you to properly articulate the information you tell them, because the objective here, brothers and sisters, is to be able to tell people something that will make them wake up. It takes a lot for people to wake up. But it's people for if you have any minute to talk to them, you tell them something that will make them think about what they are doing. And that's why I'm doing this video today, because I asked this my friend 3 questions. I told him, look, this conversation we're having, I'll ask you 3 questions, yes or no questions. Just answer it. And that question is aimed at him realizing the religion he's practicing. Because he's looking at that religion, but he's not seeing it. There's a difference between looking and seeing. There's a difference between hearing and listening. So he is looking at it, but he's not seeing. He is hearing, but he's not listening. So I asked him these 3 questions, and I want to share that 3 questions with you. So he was giving me the usual lines from Christianity, that Christ died for us, is the root of our salvation, protect us from evil, blah blah blah. And I listened to him. And when he was done, and asked him these 3 questions, I said, look, please answer me this question, my brother. Are you a Christian? Yes or no? And he said yes. Number 2, do you go to church on Sundays? He said yes. And number 3, are you a part of a cult that meets every week on the day of the sun god and celebrate the murder of an innocent man, and at the end of the day they drink his body and they drink his blood and eat his flesh? Yes or no? And I was like, no, if you put it this way, then you can't put it that way. I said, how do you want me to put it? Of course, he didn't answer that question. The truth of the matter, brothers and sisters, is that the last question I asked him is a combination of both. Christianity is a religion of a people that meets every week on the day of the sun god, and they celebrate the murder of an innocent man, and then they cap it up by drinking his blood and eating his flesh. That is the religion. How is that different from witchcraft, brothers and sisters? How is that different from witchcraft? Tell me, how is that different from Satanism? You see, these are the things that came in the New Testament, and that's why I tell people, be very careful when you read the New Testament. Just be very careful. The New Testament should never be taken as a basis for your faith. Never. Now, what I want you to note is this. Whether this innocent man you're celebrating his murder is real or not is irrelevant, because in your mind you believe it's real. So in your mind, you're creating that reality. And not only that, you are tolerating the murder of an innocent man. You are tolerating that it is required for an innocent person to be murdered and his flesh eaten and his blood drank. That's what you are tolerating in your mind. You are going against the order of the universe. So you have to ask yourself, why is it necessary for an innocent person to die for others who are not innocent to be saved? How does that make sense to you? If you are the creator of this universe, will you kill an innocent person and allow not innocent people to live? Is that what you're going to do? So when we allow this in our mind, it materializes in the world today. And that's why the good people in the world today, they don't make any headway. The evil ones make headway because in our mind, we are accepting, we are creating the reality that innocent ones should be murdered, they should live, they should die, they should get out of the planet. That's exactly what we're doing. Okay? So this religion is such a deception, and it bothers me because it's something that's holding our people to ransom. If our people were colonized by the Muslims tomorrow, I'll be talking about the Muslims. But this one is even worse than Muslim because they are the same thing basically. It's the same people that created them. That's why we need to disentangle ourselves from this cult and get as far away from everything the Europeans brought, as far away from it as we can, before it completely destroys us. So, brothers and sisters, this is how you engage people who are still trapped in this deception, in the hopes that the Most High will bring them out, that the Spirit of the Most High will work on them and save them from this deception. Because we need to do this. It's paramount that we do this to save ourselves and our people. Because when people look into their church, for instance, when I'm talking about this now, most Christians listening to me will say, oh, no, okay, that's the Catholic Church. But it's the same everywhere. I did a video here that showed a redeemed church in Nigeria that is built in the shape of an owl. I've also done videos that expose different pastors, Deeper Life, Mountain of Fire, any one of them. I mean, every day you see on the news, this pastor has someone buried in the altar, someone buried in the fence. This pastor did this. And the people in that church will be saying, oh no, he's not our pastor. Or the people in the other church will say, no, he's not our pastor. This is it's just crazy. It's the same, they are all the same thing. Each and every one of them. Let me show you something again about the Catholic Church here. Now look at this girl. She's a musician. What's her name? Katy Perry. In this interview, she was talking about how she sold her soul to the devil. She said it clearly. I won't play it here because of YouTube, whatever. But you can watch the interview for yourself. She said clearly that she sold her soul to the devil. Brothers and sisters, look, there's no gun to her head here. Nobody is holding her to ransom. She made this statement on her own volition. She said it on by herself. Nobody forced her to say that. She said it, that she sold her soul to the devil. That's this girl, Katy Perry. Now, look at this. The Vatican has invited Katy Perry to give a speech on transcendental meditation. Yes, you heard me right. Katy Perry is how old? 26 years old. And she sold her soul to the devil. But she is the one meeting right here with the Pope. She's here shaking hands with the Pope. And she's going to present a speech to the Catholic Church on meditation. Someone who has sold his soul to the devil is presenting a paper at the Vatican on meditation. It's like that, having a cat to talk about preservation of fish. How does that make sense? You are a devout Christian, devout Catholic, go to Vatican today and see if they will let you go near the Pope, even near any of the cardinals. But look at someone who admitted to have sold her soul to the devil. So as you're seeing her right now, she belongs to the devil. But she is the one teaching your cardinals and your popes about meditation. And you tell me you're worshiping God. Of course, you can't go and tell people in the village that look at what Katy Perry is doing. Your grandmother and grandfather and mother won't know these things. But you're educated enough to know that this is deception. That's why you tell them, look, I can't be part of this again. I can't lie to myself. Come out of her, my people. Go back to your tradition. Go back to the ways of your fathers. Therein lies our salvation. You know what? Let's even get it in the Bible, in the book of Jeremiah. The prophet Jeremiah told us clearly that look at the old ways. The old ways. Stand at the crossroad. Look at the old ways and follow the good in that old ways. Look at the things your ancestors did in the past. The old ways. Look at the good things they did. There are evil things they did as well, but there are good things they did. Look at the good things they did and follow that, and it will be well with your soul. That's what the prophet Jeremiah told us. But if you're following all this demonic worship and all this stuff, well, you're just going down the rabbit hole. The Most High bless us. So.